everybody. I thought I would make a quick video about this because it's one of the things that we've got questions about and will presumably get questions about regularly on stream. And that is how I actually set up the database for the Building a Nation save that we've been doing, in the sense that we don't have many leagues switched on, but we do have a lot of players available in the database. That way the clubs keep producing the region. So I'm going to show you how I've set this one up basically from scratch here. So start new game, classic, we go to career. Now, if you're me and you're using the slight database edit that allows you to have the away kit active, which obviously you want, which you'll be able to find in the Discord, by the way. It'll be a link in the description. It'll be pinned in the stream chat. You can find this database for yourself. All it does is it turns on their away kit, basically, because for some reason it's not switched on in the base game. Don't know why, but that's the situation. Otherwise, you won't be able to add custom kits at all for the away team. So then what you do is go into advanced setup. And essentially, you're going to be using a custom database in here. But the way I've set it up, now, of course, this will vary depending on what league you're doing your Building a Nation save in. Now, honestly, say you're doing it in one of the sort of prime nations of Building a Nation, be it Poland or Hungary or Austria maybe, you could probably get away, honestly, with only having the nation that you're managing in switched on. Now, if you've got a better computer, then you may want a bit of extra leagues on for flavour. I personally, with the way I've got specifically set up for Ireland, I have Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland switched on as well, down to like, I don't know, not the lowest leagues. I think I've got the top 2 from Northern Ireland and the top 3 from Scotland. In fact, I'll show you exactly how I've got it set up. Actually, the point of this video, isn't it? So yeah, I've got Scotland down to League 1 switched on because arbitrary reasons. And then I've got the Northern Irish leagues to the second tier, and obviously Wales. Oh, there actually is that one. So you could potentially do that, but I think with mine, I've only got it set up for the top flight. Then I've obviously got add players to playable teams just to make sure that the teams are filled out. I have prevent use of in-game editor switched on because I don't even have the in-game editor, but, you know, I feel like for me anyway, it's because of integrity of the save. But obviously, if you're doing this single player, who cares? I mean, I'm doing it single player too, but I'm making content on it. You know what I mean? I have attribute masking switched on always because I find it makes it more fun. But again, you do you. You know how these things work pretty much. It's this where the real magic happens, I suppose. So yours will obviously not say this because it's saving my previous one in here, but you basically want to go in and go to advanced. And then this is where you can turn on players, but not leagues. So what that basically means is that the players will be active in the save, because you'll notice sometimes if you don't load a league, you'll go to it to look at the players of a certain club, and they'll just be grayed out. They won't be existing in the database because there's no data for them. Or there is data, but you're not having access to it. This basically allows you to skirt around that without having to worry about the processing changes that come from the fact that while the game has got league switched on, it has to process fixtures. Mostly it's fixtures. That's really what does it. It's fixtures. Transfers too, but there will still be transfers, obviously, with the players switched on. So basically what you do is you go to continents. Now obviously I've already got them all switched on in here, but what you do is you go to continents, you go add Africa, although you can change this as much as you like. You could do regions, nations, or even divisions to be really specific and precise about what you want. Now for Europe, I have it set for current international players. Obviously you want to make sure the national teams are nice and plumb and full, but also players from top division clubs, and that is literally every single player from every single top division club in every single nation in Europe. I also have players from top clubs just in case there's like a top club that's in the second tier, or players with continental reputation, just in case. That way you don't run into the problem of players that say are in the championship that might have continental reputation for whatever reason, would then not be eligible in the game. So you want to make sure that's switched on, particularly for Europe. I find you can get away with the others for non-Europe, but there you go. And in Africa, again, current international players from top clubs. Same. You can adjust these on the fly, really, however you want. And the same with South America to make sure you get all the big South Americans, but also players from top division clubs. Really important, that one, because there's a lot of top division clubs in South America. They're generally the ones where you're going to get loads of regens from. But if you don't have them switched on, they're not going to produce them. This guarantees that they will be produced. Now in Asia, I just have current international players, and sort of the less interested I am in players from that region, the less of these I essentially have ticked. I really don't think that it matters that much. You could probably have a few more of these on, and I don't think it will slow your PC down too much. Now ignore the star rating. That will basically tank, because all this star rating does is it measures the number of players you've got here and adjusts there's an algorithm in the background. It just adjusts based on that. It doesn't actually measure processing speed. Now down here you'll also notice I have a special one here set for divisions in England down. Now again, this is if you want to turn on players from perhaps lower divisions, but not have to. You could even set it up so that you don't have League 1 or League 2 switched on from the players, but have lower league players for whatever reason. The only reason I have it like this is to make sure that I can get Regan Booty into my database. But you can see how versatile this actually is. And then all you do, what I would personally suggest you do, is save it as a custom setup. That way you can load it back in each time and also just have a custom setup file. Then you hit OK. And then after that, you choose your start date and you're pretty much good to go. That should then allow you to have a game that runs nice and fast. And believe me, mine does. Now, again, PC's probably slightly better, but still, at the same time, it's I don't think it makes too much difference, really. Adding players to the database doesn't make a huge difference. It's mostly the league switched on because, again, it causes processing time for the most part. You'll still get a little bit of a slowdown, perhaps, on some of the transfer deadline days because there's a lot more player movements going on. But honestly, I really haven't noticed that much of a difference with it at all. And I think it just saves that little bit more fun when there's so many nations now producing amazing youth players, and just gives you a bit more flavour, really, rather than having to sign from the same teams and nations over and over again. You should now find that, you know, every top flight Ivorian side is always going to be producing players in their youth intake every year, whereas in the past sometimes you'd get one or two. Now you should get a full youth intake every single season, so it should allow the player values and the player database number to stay topped up. It will maybe slide over time a tiny bit, or it could even grow. It slid a little bit last year, but that was because of a bug. So yeah, if this video has been useful for you, drop a like, that'd be fantastic. If not, well then hey, we'll never see you again. Anyway, yeah, join me over on stream as well for more Treaty United stuff too, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Hold your gun, capybara, bye bye.